Heroes don't emerge with noise, nor do they seek the spotlight. They are built in silence, strengthening their roots away from the world's gaze. When they finally appear, no one saw them coming. Think of the most intriguing figures in history. They weren't the loudest, but those who acted with precision, leaving behind a trail of curiosity and admiration. That's you. Wherever you go, people sense something different. They ask themselves, how can this person be so confident? What do they know that we don't? You don't have to say much. Your energy speaks for itself. This quiet magnetism leaves others unsettled. Science confirms that mystery is one of the greatest weapons of attraction. When you don't give away all the answers or refuse to fit into the labels imposed on you, it creates an irresistible aura. People become obsessed with trying to understand what makes you so unique. Some want to imitate you, while others secretly hope for your downfall to feel better about themselves. So, get ready. We're about to dive into the reasons why your presence is so transformative, and why you remain unforgettable. Don't forget to follow the channel, like, and share this video with someone who needs to hear this message. Together, we'll keep impacting the world authentically. You don't fit the standards set by the majority, and that deeply affects those around you. People are accustomed to a predictable life, where actions follow unspoken rules, and behaviors are guided by the pursuit of acceptance. So, when they encounter someone like you, who doesn't rely on external validation, who stands out as an outlier, a walking enigma, it leaves them unsettled. It's curious how your presence stirs such interest. You don't make an effort to impress, yet you naturally draw attention. There's something about your demeanor, your serenity, and your unique way of approaching life that defies the ordinary. It's as though your essence is impossible to label or categorize. While many shape their lives to meet others' expectations, you live authentically, which inherently challenges those trapped by the need for approval. People wonder, how can they be so confident without showing off? How do they seem so centered while the rest of us are constantly seeking validation? The serenity you carry acts like a mirror, reflecting something they desire, but don't know how to attain. In the Bible, we find a clear example of this dynamic in the life of Joseph, son of Jacob. Joseph was different from his brothers. Not only did he have a special connection with God, but he also possessed a character that didn't fit the expected behavioral norms of his family. This was evident from his youth, when he received dreams from God indicating that he would hold a prominent role. Genesis 37:5-9. Joseph's dreams marked him as someone special, someone who would break away from the predictability of ordinary life. He not only shared these dreams, but lived with a confidence that set him apart. This confidence, however, deeply bothered his brothers. They wondered, why him? Who does he think he is to have these visions? The discomfort was so great that they betrayed him, selling him into slavery to remove him from their lives. Joseph wasn't trying to be mysterious or superior. He was simply living as God called him to be. Even after being sold and enduring a series of challenges, he continued to live according to his essence, which made him stand out in every situation. In Potiphar's house, his integrity drew attention. In prison, his ability to interpret dreams earned him recognition. And in Egypt, his wisdom and faithfulness elevated him to the position of governor. Genesis 39-41. Like Joseph, you may face questions and criticism for living outside the norm. People may try to control or label you because they cannot comprehend what makes you unique. They might even feel envy or discomfort because your authenticity highlights their insecurities. Your quiet and confident presence serves as a reminder that there is another way to live, a way that doesn't rely on external validation, but on an inner connection to your purpose. Another aspect that intrigues those around you is your ability to keep the details of your life private. You don't feel the need to share your thoughts and actions with everyone, which only adds to the mystery. People are used to those who seek constant attention, broadcasting every aspect of their lives to be noticed. When they encounter someone who doesn't behave that way, they feel uneasy because they can't predict your actions or fully understand your motivations. In the Bible, Jesus is a perfect example of this posture. He didn't seek the approval of religious leaders or the crowds, and his actions often challenged the norms of the time. When asked why he ate with sinners, his response was simple yet powerful. "It is not the healthy who need a doctor, but the sick." Luke 5:31. Jesus didn't try to explain or justify himself beyond what was necessary. He lived according to the truth he carried and didn't yield to external pressures to conform. This kind of authenticity can destabilize others. People are accustomed to explanations and predictable patterns. When they encounter someone who lives free from these expectations, they become obsessed with trying to decipher what lies behind that serenity. And the more they try to understand, the more frustrated they become. This discomfort often has nothing to do with you, but with them. Your demeanor reflects their insecurities and fears. Your life forces them to confront questions they might prefer to avoid. Why can't I live with that same peace? What am I doing wrong? These questions arise because your authenticity challenges the way they view the world. You don't follow the script they consider safe or normal, and that's something many people don't know how to handle. To them, predictability brings comfort, and your unpredictability, even though genuine, makes them question their own choices and values. This dynamic serves as a reminder that living authentically won't always be comfortable for those around you, but it's precisely what makes you so remarkable. Like Joseph and Jesus, your authenticity is a gift that cannot be confined by external expectations. It speaks louder than any explanation and has the power to inspire and transform, even when it provokes discomfort. You carry an energy that does not go unnoticed. It's not something you plan or force, but a reflection of your authenticity and the unique way you live. In a world where many try to mold themselves to please and desperately seek external validation, your confidence and firm posture stand out. You don't need to justify yourself or shape your actions to fit others' expectations, and this unsettles those who rely on external approval to feel valuable. Your presence alone is enough to provoke intense and varied reactions. Some people are drawn to your inner strength. They recognize something rare in you: the courage to remain true to yourself in a world that often encourages conformity. Your energy inspires admiration, and even a silent desire to achieve the same level of authenticity. These individuals see in you a model of emotional freedom, someone who doesn't worry about impressing others, but simply lives in alignment with their own values. On the other hand, there are those who react in the opposite way. These people feel uncomfortable in your presence, not because you challenge them directly, but because your energy exposes their own limitations. When they are near you, they cannot help but confront insecurities they would rather ignore. Your demeanor makes them reflect on the choices they've made and the fears that still hold them back. It's as if your existence is a mirror, showing them what they could be if they had the courage to break free from the chains of others' opinions. These contradictory reactions share a common origin. Your energy destabilizes the narratives many people create to feel secure. They are accustomed to operating within invisible rules that include pleasing, adapting, and seeking recognition. So when they encounter someone like you, who doesn't play the same game, their certainties are shaken. They wonder, how can they be so confident without seeking approval? How can they be so at peace without caring what others think? This impact is not something you intentionally seek. Your authenticity is not a strategy to create an effect, but a natural consequence of living in harmony with yourself. You don't make an effort to draw attention, yet your presence is noticed. This stance, which is natural to you, becomes a challenge for those still tied to external expectations. The more authentically you live, the more evident the contrast becomes between you and those who base their self-esteem on external validation. They may not fully understand why your energy affects them so deeply, but they feel the impact of your presence. For some, this is inspiring and leads them to reflect on their own lives. For others, it is uncomfortable because it demands a re-evaluation of the choices they've made and the limitations they accept. The discomfort you provoke is not your fault, but an inevitable consequence of who you are. Your authenticity forces people to face questions they prefer to avoid. While many invest energy in appearing to be something they are not, you simply live the truth of who you are. This contrast is a constant reminder that there is an alternative, something that can be liberating but also terrifying for those not yet ready to embrace their own authenticity. Moreover, your energy doesn't just disturb, it transforms. Some people, by being around you, begin to see that it is possible to live without seeking approval at every step. They realize that the freedom you demonstrate is available to them as well, if they have enough courage to confront their fears and insecurities. You become then a silent reference point, someone who inspires not with words, but with actions and presence. However, there are also those who react with criticism or resistance. These individuals try to discredit or minimize your authenticity, not because it is false, but because they don't know how to handle the impact you cause. For them, it is easier to reject your stance than to admit that they could change something about themselves. Even so, you continue to impact them, albeit indirectly. The most impressive thing is that you don't have to try to provoke these reactions. All of this happens because you have chosen to live true to yourself. Your energy is an extension of your truth, and that is something that cannot be ignored. Even those who resist or criticize you end up being touched in some way by the strength of your presence. This effect you have on people cannot be measured or controlled. It simply happens. Your energy has the power to disarm, inspire, and challenge because it reflects something rare and precious. The courage to be authentic in a world that often values appearances over essence. This is why your presence is so remarkable. It is a living reminder that living authentically is possible, and that this choice has a profound impact, both on you and on others. Whether through the admiration or discomfort you provoke, your energy continues to transform those around you, even if you don't realize it. It is also essential to understand that silence is a powerful and often underestimated force. While most people use words to fill voids or reaffirm their presence, you choose silence as an expression of strength and clarity. Your words, when spoken, are not wasted. They carry a weight that transcends the moment and lingers in the minds of those who hear them. This is not something calculated or manipulative, but simply a reflection of your ability to discern what truly deserves to be said and what can be left unanswered. The impact of this on others is inevitable. When you don't respond as expected, don't offer justifications, or refuse to be swept up in the hurried pace of superficial discussions, you compel others to confront the void created by your absence of words. For many, this is uncomfortable. They are accustomed to quick reactions, to people who feel the need to explain or justify every move. Your silence forces them to look inward, and what they find is not always easy to face. They begin to wonder, what is he thinking? Is he judging me? Why didn't he say anything? This lack of clear responses unsettles them, because silence acts as a mirror, reflecting their own insecurities and assumptions. They fill the empty space with their doubts, fears, and interpretations, leaving them obsessed with trying to understand you. What they often fail to realize is that your silence has nothing to do with them. It is a choice rooted in your emotional maturity, valuing focus and inner peace above external chaos. Your ability to filter what truly matters and to ignore what doesn't deserve your energy is a rare skill that confounds those who constantly seek attention or approval. In the Bible, Jesus exemplifies the power of silence perfectly. During the trial that led to his crucifixion, he remained silent in the face of unjust accusations. In Matthew 27:12-14, we read, "When he was accused by the chief priests and the elders, he gave no answer. Then Pilate asked him, 'Don't you hear the testimony they are bringing against you?' But Jesus made no reply, not even to a single charge, to the great amazement of the governor. Jesus' silence was so profound that even Pilate, a ruler accustomed to defendants pleading for their lives, was bewildered. His lack of response was not a sign of weakness or submission, but of authority. He knew he didn't need to justify himself because his mission was greater than the moment. His silence spoke louder than any defense could. Like Jesus, your silence is a declaration of power, not because you seek to manipulate or intimidate, but because it demonstrates your self-confidence and ability to choose your battles. You understand that not everything warrants a response, and this skill disarms those who expect you to react. This kind of behavior can be confusing for people who rely on words to validate or control situations. They expect you to explain your thoughts, to yield to the pressure of justification, or to offer something tangible they can use to construct their own narratives. But when you remain calm and composed, you deny them that control. This silence is authoritative, but not in an aggressive way. It is a manifestation of inner strength, of someone who doesn't need to prove anything to anyone. This not only impresses others, but also creates a kind of fascination. Even after you leave, people continue to think about what you might have been thinking, or what your few words truly meant. However, your indifference is not disdain. It is in fact a way of protecting your inner peace and directing your energy toward what truly matters. You don't allow superficial situations or irrelevant comments to disrupt your balance, and this is something many people simply don't know how to handle. While many get lost in unnecessary conflicts or try to win irrelevant arguments, you choose the path of serenity. Your ability to stand firm, to avoid impulsive reactions, and to speak only when truly necessary inspires respect, even if it initially causes discomfort. This discomfort is not something you intentionally create, but it is inevitable. Your choice to remain silent or to speak with precision reveals the superficiality of many interactions around you. And for those who depend on noise to feel relevant, your silence is a reminder that there is a different, deeper, and more effective way to engage with the world. In the end, your silence not only protects your peace, but also compels those around you to reflect. It forces them to confront their own motivations and insecurities. And while some may initially resist this, many ultimately find themselves transformed by the example you set, not through words, but through your presence and the strength of your silence. To others, your achievements may seem magical, as if everything around you aligns perfectly to favor your success. They watch from a distance and conclude that you're lucky, that opportunities come to you effortlessly, or that something out of the ordinary always happens to put you ahead. However, this superficial view overlooks a deeper reality. Your victories are the reflection of consistent effort, strategic choices, and resilience, cultivated through countless challenges. The truth is that no one sees the behind-the-scenes journey of someone chosen. They don't know about the sleepless nights, the tough decisions you had to make, or the personal sacrifices you made to achieve what you have today. All they see is the end result, leading them to believe that your accomplishments are effortless, as if they were handed to you without struggle. In reality, what sets you apart is your ability to stay focused even in the face of obstacles that would make others give up. While many waste time lamenting difficulties or seeking shortcuts, you confront challenges head-on, learning from them, and adjusting your path as needed. This resilient mindset is what turns every stumble into an opportunity for growth. To outsiders, it's as if you have a special map, a guide that helps you find your way, while they remain lost in a maze. What they don't understand is that this map wasn't handed to you. It's something you built over time. It is the result of your experiences, your lessons learned, and most importantly, your willingness to persist even when everything seems to be against you. People tend to simplify the success of others because it's easier to attribute their achievements to luck or external circumstances than to acknowledge that these victories come from continuous effort. The difference is that, while many see difficulties as a sign to stop, you view them as part of the process. Your mindset is what sets you apart. You understand that failures are not the end, but rather valuable lessons. You know that consistency outweighs fleeting motivation, and that it's necessary to keep moving forward even on days when progress feels slow or non-existent. They may not see the battles you've fought away from the spotlight, but every step of that journey has prepared you for what you have today. Your strength doesn't come from easy victories, but from overcoming adversities that demanded the best of you. And that's something only those who have lived through it can fully understand. While they attribute your apparent ease to something supernatural or unattainable, you know that every achievement is the result of immense effort, discipline, and an unshakable will to keep going, even when the path is unclear. That is what truly makes you unique. Another issue that unsettles others is your confidence, a steadfast force that comes from within. Unlike most people, you don't live at the mercy of external opinions, nor do you adjust your identity to please others. This solid stance is uncommon in a world where many depend on praise to feel good or fear criticism to the point of changing who they are. The confidence you carry is not only admirable, but also incomprehensible to those who base their self-esteem on others' acceptance. They've been conditioned to measure their worth by the number of likes, approvals, or validations they receive. When they encounter someone who doesn't rely on these things to feel whole, it leaves them unsettled. For these individuals, praise is fuel, and criticism is a devastating blow. They swing between feeling loved and rejected, allowing external factors to dictate how they see themselves. Your emotional independence, on the other hand, reflects your ability to find security in who you are, regardless of what others think. What many fail to realize is that this confidence doesn't appear out of nowhere. It is built over time through experiences that required self-awareness, discipline, and the courage to confront your own insecurities. You understand that true value cannot be measured by others' opinions, and that trying to please everyone is a futile effort. While others worry about fitting into standards or meeting expectations, you live according to your own principles. This independence is something many envy, because deep down, they wish to experience the freedom you embody. At the same time, that freedom is something they fear because it represents a break from the dynamics they know and in which they feel comfortable. This envy and fear manifest in different ways. Some people admire you silently, wishing they had the same courage to free themselves from the need to please. Others, however, react with criticism or attempts to downplay what you've achieved as a way to cope with the discomfort your presence provokes. The truth is that your confidence exposes a difficult reality for these people. They are living in ways conditioned by what others think. Your firm stance forces them to confront their own choices, insecurities, and the possibility that they might be sacrificing their authenticity for superficial acceptance. What they don't understand is that your emotional independence is not arrogance. It doesn't mean you don't value others' opinions, but rather that you put them in the proper perspective. You listen, reflect, but don't let those opinions define who you are or how you live. This distinction is what makes your confidence so rare and so powerful. It's important to note that your emotional security doesn't eliminate vulnerability. You are human, and like everyone, face doubts and challenges. The difference lies in how you deal with these emotions. Instead of seeking external approval to validate or suppress them, you learn from them, allowing self-awareness to further strengthen your internal foundation. For those who base their self-esteem on external factors, this approach is unsettling. They are accustomed to seeking recognition as a way to avoid dealing with their insecurities, whereas you use your experiences to grow. This contrast is what makes your confidence so inspiring to some and so challenging to others. Your emotional independence serves as a reminder that it is possible to live fully without depending on others' approval. It demonstrates that true freedom comes from within, from deeply knowing and accepting yourself, even in moments of failure or difficulty. Ultimately, your confidence not only benefits you but also serves as a powerful example for those ready to let go of the need to please and begin living authentically. It shows that peace and inner strength are possible when you break free from the chains of external validation and learn to value who you truly are. Chosen ones, you carry something that goes beyond words, an energy that transforms, an impact that cannot be ignored. Wherever you are, your presence resonates, sparking change and deep reflection. You don't need to force anything or conform to external expectations. Your authenticity is the key that unlocks new perceptions in those around you. Being authentic in a world that often values appearances can be a challenge. You've likely faced misunderstanding, skeptical looks, or even resistance. This happens because your way of being challenges the status quo, showing that it's possible to live truthfully without unnecessary compromises for external validation. But know this: while some may not understand, others feel inspired and encouraged by you. You are not alone on this journey. There is a greater force guiding every step, strengthening every decision. And it's this force that makes your authenticity so remarkable. The world needs people like you. People who not only follow the rules, but create their own paths and leave a legacy of courage, truth, and transformation. If this message touched you, we'd love to hear your story. How have you experienced being misunderstood or admired? Share in the comments what you've learned on this journey. And don't forget to like and share this content with someone who needs this word of encouragement. You are unique, and that is your greatest power. Keep living your truth, because the world is ready to be impacted by your presence.